And I mean, of course, you're going to add this next one, the altars.
Yep.
Jan and the altars, like...
Jan.
Jan.
Because he's Polish.
Jan.
Well,
Jan.
he's Polish-American. Jan. So he's like a
Jan.
Jan Dolski.
Yes.
Yeah. So he is, he's a kind of a regular dude who is stranded on an alien planet and has to essentially, in order to survive and get off, his other crewmates died. He has to use this new mineral resource that they found, a new element called rapidium. Rapidium helps like speed up growth, and it's why he was sent on the mission. You know, this corporation has been sending people out. They've been using this AI to kind of come up with mathematical probabilities of them. This theorize that there's this, you know, material. There's this element. It could be there. It could be there. So all these missions are going off to all these different planets, and he lands on a planet and it has it, but everyone else is dead. So in order to get off the planet, he has to use this new element, this new mineral, this new material to clone himself. But not just clone himself, create alternate timeline versions of himself. He needs a version of himself who can fix something on the ship. He needs a mechanic. He needs a technician. He needs, you know, there's an illness. He needs a doctor. He needs, let's say, you know, they need to cultivate some soil. They need to grow some stuff. He needs a botanist. So for every single one of these, there needs to be a branching point in their life. So we have the tree, and you can have the branching points. You choose a point, and it could be, you know, all of the Jans. The thing they have in common is they all came from a domestic abuse household. For one of them, it's like, okay, I'm going to split this point where this version of me didn't stay behind to look after mum. He went off to university. This one did stay behind and he fought dad. This one left, but then he came back. So all of them have different relationships with their mum and their dad, but they all have different lives that they've led. But that means that they also have different relationships with each other. You know, one could be like, how could you leave mum behind? Like, what? Like, what were you thinking? You know, so then that creates some tension and friction. So then you're like, well, this is causing problems. So then you create a version of yourself who's a shrink, you know, things like that. You can kind of maybe mediate some stuff and talk people through it. You can go through, and there's 11 different versions of the same character that you can create. But you cannot create all of them on a playthrough. You can't get all of them. So if you want to see what they're all like, you're going to have to go through and do multiple playthroughs. But for each playthrough you do, let's say you definitely need the botanist in one, and you're like, I've got to have him, you know, but so you have to have him, but then in another playthrough you don't have him, but you do have the technician. Well, that means that maybe his relationship is changed with, so it suddenly becomes so, it blows my mind.
It's so cool.
It blows my mind, the writing on this game and the technical elements and how much they have to think about is absolutely insane. It's mind-boggling. Kasia and Magda, Kasia is the lead writer, and we've got Magda, and you know, the stuff they've been writing, and it is crazy the complexity in which they have to work, like the detail in which they have to work. But they're doing it in their second language as well. They're Polish writing in English, and I'm like, this is mad. I keep saying to them, going, this is like, I don't want to sound patronizing.
No.
But this is your second language, and what you're writing is incredible. Like, it's meaningful. It's gut-wrenching. Like, I watched people playing the demo. I had people come and watch me playing the demo. There was the hands-on experience. I was out there, like at the hands-on live event in Warsaw, walking around, watching people playing the game, interacting with them, chatting with them. One guy was crying like as he was playing it, and they were like, this is the demo, man. You're crying in the demo. This is mad. It's a really cool game, and I am so proud of it.
Yeah. I think that's like, it's just such a creative idea. Because like, you know, you think about yourself as well, and how a different choice in your life could lead you to be a completely different person.
100%. And I
That's
think
so fascinating.
Yeah, I've definitely had those thoughts while recording it. I think it's a game that is gonna make quite an impact, and I think it's also a game that is a lot of the talk we've been having about sort of voice acting in games and what can voice acting bring to games and how can it elevate games. I think it's a game that is going to kind of, you're going to look at it and go, maybe not necessarily I'm saying, you know, for my performance, but just on a voice acting level, you go, this is such a good example of what voice acting can do in a video game. I don't think there's ever been a video game like this where one actor plays all the characters. They're all the same person, but they're the same but different, and they all interact with each other. They all have to sound similar enough that they're believably the same person, but different enough that they have all believably lived different lives, but also so that it's not confusing for the player when they're listening to them all talking to each other. And they all have to feel like different branches, but from the same tree trunk, right? As a technical challenge, it's been insane, and I think it's just such a good example of what voice acting can be in video games and what you could do. And there'll be so many developers who will look at this game and it will give them ideas, and they'll push it even further on down the line, and that blows my mind.
And such a testament to you as well, like the amount of years that you've spent, you know, learning all of these impressions and then acting all these different characters. Like it's almost like a portfolio. Yeah,
it definitely felt like a kind of monumental moment, and kind of going, this is kind of what all of this has been leading towards, is this moment. It's the culmination of all of my experiences and sort of creating different voices, and the challenge of it is that kind of put on a little plinth and kind of going, here it all is.
It's me. This is me.
Yeah.
This is the Alex Jordan experience right here.